Do you think just because you sell everything, move into an RV, hit the road to explore our beautiful country, it's always a bed of roses? Well, that's not the case. You have to love what you do, though, and roll with the punches. Stick around to the end of the video, and we'll tell you why we like toppers, and we'll give you a couple ideas of what's bad about toppers. Hey, Dave here with Dave and Diane throwing caution to the wind. A few months ago, we stopped off at New Horizons in Junction City, Kansas, and we picked up our new 42-foot New Horizons fifth wheel. Now at that time, if you happen to watch that video, which I will put a link right up here somewhere to that video in case you want to see it, but if you saw that, you will remember that we were not able to have our slide toppers installed because Carefree of Colorado was lacking parts due to COVID. But a few months have gone by, we got a call from New Horizons, and our slide toppers are now in. So I thought maybe we might be able to do a video of them doing an install in case you'd never seen slide toppers being installed before. You might want to hang around and watch it. Alright, so the crew has gone home for the day, but they already have their scissor lift out here. They have already brought out, as you can see, here's a tube down here. We have a tube down here for this slide topper. We have a couple of tubes here because we are going to do a slide topper on this slide, and we have a manual awning that's going to go over these two windows. So the small tube is that awning. That small box there is the arms for that awning. And then around the other side here, we have another tube, the large tube, which is going to go over this slide here. So the shop foreman, Chris, fantastic guy, said he's going to come out here at 6:30 in the morning. He's going to mount the brackets on our slides. The rest of the crew comes in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to come out here at 7 o'clock and knock out putting all those toppers on. He said he'd have us done by noon. So again, hang around and watch it. All right, well, 6:30 came around. Chris was out here as promised at 6:30, jumped on his scissor lift and started installing the brackets. It was way too dark. I knew the camera wasn't going to pick it up, so I didn't even try. But I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what he's done. All right, so a pretty simple task. You'll see up here in the corner, those are aluminum brackets. They have sticky tape on the back side, so it made it pretty easy. Once he measured out where they needed to sit, he just stuck them in place. And then there are 3 self-tapping lag bolts that go in through that bottom section. And then there's a cover piece that goes over the lag bolts. So on the bedroom slide, for example, there are 2 brackets, and then on the larger slides there are 3. So again, once he measured out the end brackets, he just measured over to the center to mount the center bracket. And now he's waiting for his next crew to come in. They'll come out, they'll start opening up these tubes, and then they'll start installing the toppers themselves. And hopefully it's light enough that this came through, and maybe we can get a little video of them putting the toppers on actually. All right, on to the next stage. All right, so he has stopped working right now. He has all those brackets up. It took him a half hour to do it, so not a big deal. Now he's going to wait for his next crew to come in. They're going to come out. I think he's going to grab 2 more guys. They'll start unpackaging the toppers, and they'll work together and get them installed. Hopefully. All right, well, they're going to unpackage and inspect the toppers. Now they're going to put the first one up on the scissor lift, get ready to install it. They're going to go up here and they'll mount this up on the bracket. There's a little lip behind that rail It just mounts up on the brackets. Then they'll put about 3 screws in each bracket through the rail into the bracket. Then they're going to slide the fabric into a track that was already installed during the build process. Then they pull the roll of fabric out and mount it to the railing that they just installed. Get that stuck in there just right. Then once they do that, they will mount some screws in there to hold it in place. Then watch this, he's going to pull a pin. And he pulls a pin, and then the springs release and lets the fabric get tight. Now they're going to do the second one again. They're going to bring the rail up. They'll mount it onto the 3 brackets on this slide.
Better hook it on the top. Don't ever let go. Cap should be even at the end.
Make sure it's nice and even on both ends of the slide.
I'm going to tap it down.
And then they'll put the screws into the brackets. Now they're going to mount the fabric, slide that fabric into the track. Again, the track was already installed during the build process. That way, when it went to paint, the track was painted, even though you won't really see it underneath the fabric. But that's just attention to detail. So slide those in place. Once again, they'll pull out the fabric, mount it to the rail.
Okay. And bring the cap into it.
Make sure it's in there nice and snug. Then they will put some screws in to secure it. And they'll pull the pins again. Release the springs, and the fabric will get tight. Then this is the outer cover. So this goes in, it hooks up to the bottom of the rail and then rolls up over the fabric.
You know if you're not right, because it won't roll. There you go.
Then once it rolls up over the fabric, they will put the end caps on and secure that all in place. And then move on to another slide. All right, just like the other slides, they will bring the rail up there, put the brackets in a little groove in the back of it. And they put 2 screws through the rail into the brackets. Then they'll slide that fabric into the track that once again was already installed during the build process. Get it all lined up in there. Put a couple screws in to secure it in place. They already pulled the pin on this one, I missed that. But then now they're going to roll the cover up from the bottom again. Put that in place. And then secure the end caps on it. And that slide will be done. Alright, here they go on the final slide. Hard to see this one because the awning is in the way. So they got it all mounted up there. Now they're going to slide the fabric in the rail. They just had enough room to squeeze in with the building right there. I was afraid he was going to have to move the coach so they could put it in, but it worked out okay. Get it slid in. This is the longest one. Get it secured in place.
Yep. Screw your cap on.
Put a couple screws in there. Alright, well, we now have toppers on our slides. Now let me give you some thoughts on why we like toppers and what drawbacks we might see in toppers. Alright, the number one thing we like about toppers is it helps keep the sun from hitting the top of our slides. Less sun on the roof equals less heat inside the coach. Alright, the second thing we like about toppers is sound. When it rains and the rain hits the roof of an RV, you know that you hear it. The toppers help dampen the rain from hitting the roof, which cuts down the sound inside the coach. The third thing we like about toppers is we camp a lot under trees. When you camp under trees, you have leaves, pine needles, pine cones, all kinds of debris that can get on top of your slides. Then come departure day, you have to get up on top of the coach and sweep all that out before you put your slides in. With slide toppers, most of that debris is going to come right off when you run your slides in. No need to get up there and deal with all that. The fourth thing, even though your seals should keep all the water from going inside your coach, having these slide toppers does disperse the water away from those seals more than not having them. And anytime we can protect ourselves from water hitting those seals and any chance of having water inside our RV, that's a plus to us. Alright, probably the largest drawback to having slide toppers, if you talk to a number of people, is if it gets really windy and the wind is hitting the coach at just the right direction, the toppers can get flopping. And if they get flopping, it can be noisy inside, might stop you from sleeping at nighttime. And if it gets really bad and your toppers are old, then there's a potential that they could rip. So that's a drawback, I guess. But let me tell you this. At the time of this video, we've been on the road for over 9 years. We've owned 2 Class A's and 3 different fifth wheels. We've had toppers on each and every one of them. And in over 9 years of being on the road, maybe twice we've had to bring our slides in, or maybe just one slide in, because of wind noise. So for us, it's not even a big deal. We don't even think about that. And the only other time we ever had an issue with a slide, we were going through a campground, had a lot of low tree branches. And we had one tree branch about the size of my little finger sneak in between the rail and our coach and sliced our slide topper like a knife going through butter. So we had to replace that topper one time. So that was an oddball thing, but that was the only time we ever had an issue with our toppers. Alright, well, I guess that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Maybe hit that subscribe button down below. We'd appreciate that. And as always, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.